Hi, how are we doing? Today we are going to be reviewing the Airwalk Brock Skate Shoe. And that took like 5 takes to say because, Airwalk and Brock don't go very well with, Scottish accents and pronunciations. So historically, I've always skated Vans simply because I like the kind of board feel that Vans have. So I decided to go for something completely different this time and try some Airwalks. And I got it on a meaty discount because who doesn't want to save some cash dollar? So I'm going to be covering board feel, weight, how sturdy the shoe feels or is, and then the materials used in the different parts of the shoe so that you know if it's going to, be okay for the type of skating that you do. So let's start by checking these bad boys out. So straight away, if you're into the look of the shoe and how it looks for you, I guess. It's pretty sleek looking, it's black, so it'll go with pretty much everything. And it's not like other Airwalks where some Airwalks can have it really wide here and here. So that it's kind of flapping about and it seems really big like this. But this particular Airwalk model doesn't seem as bad for that. So that's why I decided to pick these ones regardless of the price. These ones didn't have that same kind of I don't know, they didn't have the same kind of ears that flap about on either side of the shoe there. So looks wise, for me, it gets a thumbs up. Now, in terms of the weight of the shoe itself, it's a lot it feels a bit heavier in the hand and on the foot because I've worn them and I've taken a quick walk with them. They feel a bit heavier than what I'm used to, but I'm used to Vans, and Vans with their canvas and their suede, they tend to be a lot lighter than most skate shoes, so I'm not too surprised there. But overall, I don't think it's going to make much impact when I'm actually out there on my board. So now I want to talk a little bit about the materials. So I did a bit of not research, but well, I was in the shop, I gave them a good once over to see what we've got here. And so for this particular shoe, you've got suede kind of patches, and other patches you've got breathable material here, so that your feet don't get too warm, and so that you don't get too sweaty and too nasty or anything like that, and to keep your feet fairly cool on those warm summer days. I live in Scotland, so it isn't that much of an issue, but I mean this summer it's been pretty intense, so that's always going to help with that. But this kind of bit here, all around the front of the shoe, is suede. The top of the shoe here is also suede, which is nice. And then that's the breathable material I was talking about here, which it's not suede, I think it's some kind of synthetic plastic. So it does differ from here to here, but most of the kind of street skating that I'll do, or most people will do, you've got the suede where it matters for that kind of stuff. And on the back here, it's also kind of got suede to kind of come right round the back of the heel here. Now the default laces that come on this kind of model, it's just it's not too sturdy. I mean, I do a lot of freestyle, so I'm probably going to have to change these laces out, or kind of harden them, or do something to them. So your laces that come with the stock shoe, they're pretty much as good as you'd expect it to be. So if you do a lot of freestyle, you probably will want to change the laces around and get laces that are a bit sturdier, or do some patchwork up here to try and protect the lace from any casters or anything that you're doing. If you are doing freestyle or stuff that I do, you're definitely going to want to change out the laces. We move on to probably the most important part of the shoe, which is the sole. Now the sole seems pretty sturdy, equally just as flexible. It's got a good flex in it, which means it's not going to tear as easily as some other shoe models I've skated in the past. So a lot of my issues with my skate shoes is that I will get marks in the bottom of my shoes, roughly where my heel is. I'll show you on my other shoe where it's more pronounced, where I've had to do a little bit of patchwork there. So that tends to be a big thing for me when I'm skating. And so I chose these shoes because, particularly like out of the budget that I had, I chose these shoes because these soles seemed sturdy. So it's a very kind of hardened plastic composite that they've used for the bottom of the sole here, which is, as you can see, fairly sturdy. Now I'm probably going to put some shoe glue around the seams just to make sure that everything stays where it's supposed to. And I'm not going to change out the insoles, I'm going to leave them as they are for this review, just so I can get like the board feel down for the stock shoe a-okay. And now we move on to something that's like really new for me. I'm used to Vans, which is pretty much paper thin around here and for the tongue of the shoe. But for Airwalks, that's completely different, as you can see. It's practically like a massive cushion, and when I was walking in them, that did play a huge role when I was trying them out in the shop. And because I do a lot of freestyle, that extra padding around the ankles to support it, and especially for the tongue to support the front of my foot, is going to become, you know, very useful when I do things like Caspers and use the top of the shoe. So I think that padding is going to go a long way to helping protect my foot when I'm doing a lot of the freestyle stuff. So I'm super eager to get these on and try them out. Last thing I'm going to mention is the insole here. Like I said, I'm going to keep the basic insole in the shoe for now till I get out and get them skated, so I can assess how the board feels under my feet and how the insoles take like the impact of landing some tricks or cavemaning off benches and things like that. So I'm away to put these on, and I'm going to go skate a little bit of Glasgow streets, get a few skate tricks in, obviously film the skate tricks, and then we'll reconvene at the end to see how they do. So I am just back from testing out these shoes, and I am really kind of starting to like them. At first, the difference in board feel between the Vans that I usually skate and these were pretty significant, to the point that I couldn't really feel my board under my feet as much as, you know, compared to when I'm wearing Vans, but then again, Vans are like really, really thin. What initially stuck out to me was that my feet felt more protected in these shoes, and that's maybe due to like the difference in the soles, or maybe just the fact that they're not as thin as Vans are, even though I have like suede Vans, which is different from canvas. Like if you're skating canvas, you might as well just put on sandals. But yeah, so initially, like when I started skating it, I was a little bit skeptical, and I wasn't really landing, you know, my go-to tricks that I land pretty much consistently every session. But that's to be expected when you step into a new pair of shoes, because especially ones with board feel and a weight difference that's so like significant from the Vans that I wore to then these ones. So overall, I'm happy with these shoes. I was finding that I was committing to tricks a bit quicker than I would with my Vans, because my feet felt more protected, and maybe it's just a psychological thing. But even then, when I'd slip out or when my board would, you know, smack into my foot, it didn't hurt as much. So I was able to, you know, skate more consistently for longer. And that is something that, you know, that's the downside of Vans. You get like a lot of board feel with Vans, which, you know, helps you to develop nuances for tricks. But then if it goes wrong, it really, really hurts. So that's another thing that I like about these. They're pretty comfy. Even just when you're walking about, they're just comfier to walk about in. So that's also something to take into consideration, because I know that a lot of skaters will just use their skate shoes in everyday life like I do. I'm going to stray away from giving it a numbered rating because I don't feel that's useful or valuable. I don't really rate things with a numbered system. I just do, you know, whether I like it, the pros and cons, and then I'll let you make up your own decision. So far, I would, for the price that I paid for them, they seem worth it. As for paying full price for them, I'm not too certain yet. That would depend on the long-term durability of them, which can only, you know, be covered in time. So do stay tuned for that. I will be posting an update, you know, in a month or two, maybe 3 months, or maybe I'll do like monthly progress of how the shoes are holding out. If I pay full price for them depends on their durability. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, be sure to leave a like and comment what you thought about the shoes. I want to know kind of two things. One, if you've skated these shoes before, and if you have, how's the durability on them, and what do you like about them, what don't you like about them? And two, what your favourite brand of skate shoe is, because while I've skated for 2 years, I've mainly skated Vans, and I've not really skated any other type of skate shoe. I've looked at DC, but I decided to go for these Airwalks. So be sure to let me know what your favourite brand is down below, so I can then maybe take a look at other brands in the future. Alrighty, so thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check out my other skate videos, and yeah, peace out.